The myth of Lycaon, the first werewolf in ancient Greek mythology. Lycaon was a king of Arcadia, known for his arrogance and impiety. He was said to be a cruel ruler who defied the gods and tested their power. One day, Zeus, king of the gods, decided to visit Earth disguised as a mortal to test the virtue of men. When he arrived at Lycaon's palace, the king did not believe that the stranger was truly Zeus. To test the god's omniscience, Lycaon devised a terrible plan. He slaughtered a child, some say his own son, and served the flesh as a meal to Zeus. Upon realizing this horrific act, Zeus was enraged. As punishment, he struck down Lycaon's palace with a thunderbolt and cursed the king. Instead of killing him outright, Zeus transformed Lycaon into a wolf, condemning him to roam the wilderness as a beast. According to some versions of the myth, this was the origin of lycanthropy, the ability of a man to turn into a wolf. The story of Lycaon served as a warning against hubris, excessive pride, and impiety towards the gods. It is also one of the earliest recorded tales of werewolves in Western mythology. Werewolves in Norse and Scandinavian mythology. In Norse and Scandinavian traditions, werewolves were often associated with warriors, shape-shifting magic, and curses. Unlike later European folklore, which depicted werewolves as cursed individuals, Norse werewolves were often linked to strength, savagery, and divine punishment. Here are some of the most fascinating legends. 1. The Saga of Sigmund and Sinfjotli, the Wolf Warriors. One of the most famous Norse werewolf stories comes from the Volsunga Saga, a legendary saga written in the 13th century but based on much older oral traditions. In this tale, Sigmund and his son Sinfjotli are exiled and wander the forests. One day, they find two enchanted wolf pelts in an abandoned hut. These pelts have the power to transform anyone who wears them into a wolf for 10 days. Overcome by curiosity, they put on the pelts and instantly become wolves. Under this curse, they lose control over their human nature and are filled with an uncontrollable bloodlust. They go on a violent rampage, slaughtering anyone who crosses their path. However, Sinfjotli attacks his father, seriously wounding him. Eventually, they are freed from the spell when they remove the pelts, which they later burn to break the curse. This story suggests that in Norse belief, werewolf transformation could be caused by magical objects rather than a bite or an inherited curse, as seen in later European folklore. 2. The Ulfethnar, the berserker werewolves. Another key aspect of Norse werewolf mythology is the Ulfethnar, wolf coats, elite warriors associated with Odin, the god of war, wisdom, and shapeshifting. These warriors were similar to the more famous berserkers, who wore bear skins and fought in a trance-like rage. The Ulfethnar, instead of wearing bear pelts, wore wolf skins and were believed to channel the spirit of the wolf in battle. They fought without armor, had superhuman strength, and felt no pain, acting like wild beasts on the battlefield. The Ulfethnar were often considered to have been blessed, or cursed, by Odin himself, granting them the ferocity of a wolf but stripping them of their humanity during combat. This idea of warriors taking on animalistic traits connects to broader shamanistic traditions, where wearing an animal skin was believed to grant its power. 3. The legend of Kveldulf, the evening wolf. Another famous Norse werewolf figure is Kveldulf, meaning evening wolf, a character from the Eagle saga. Kveldulf was a man who transformed into a wolf-like creature at night, giving him supernatural strength and a fearsome reputation. Unlike most warriors, he avoided daytime battles, preferring to fight in the evening when his wolf nature took over. He was described as a shapeshifter, Vargr, meaning wolf in Old Norse, a term often used to describe outlaws or those with a dangerous, untamed spirit. His son, Skallagrim, inherited some of his wolf-like aggression, reinforcing the idea that lycanthropy in Norse myths could be passed down through bloodlines. 4. The Wolves of Ragnarok. Fenrir and his sons werewolves in Norse mythology were also linked to divine chaos and destruction, most notably in the story of Fenrir, the giant wolf. Fenrir was the monstrous son of Loki, prophesied to devour Odin during Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse. He had two sons, Skoll and Hati, who were giant wolves that chased the sun and moon, trying to devour them. This association of wolves with the end of the world reinforced their status as symbols of uncontrolled wildness and doom. Many scholars believe that the fear of werewolves in Norse culture was connected to the belief that powerful, beast-like warriors could lose control and turn against their own people, much like Fenrir turned against the gods. Unlike the medieval European werewolves, who were seen as cursed humans, Norse werewolves were often warriors, shamans, or divine figures. Their transformations were linked to 1. Magic, wolf pelts, Odin's blessing, or curses. 2. Bloodlines, Kveldulf and his descendants. 3. The warrior spirit, Ulfethnar, berserkers. These myths highlight the dual nature of the wolf in Norse culture, both a revered warrior archetype and a symbol of chaos and destruction. Lycanthropes in medieval Europe, Native American lore, Asian mythology, and modern reports. The metaphysical aspect of lycanthropy and magical rituals for transformation throughout history. Werewolf transformations have often been linked to supernatural and magical forces. Unlike the purely biological or viral explanations of modern horror fiction, traditional beliefs suggest that becoming a werewolf was an act of sorcery, divine punishment, or spiritual awakening. Many cultures had detailed rituals and spells intended to either invoke or break the curse of lycanthropy. 1. The occult and lycanthropy. In European traditions in medieval Europe, werewolves were often considered the result of pacts with the devil, witchcraft, or hereditary curses. Magical items used in transformation. Wolf belt or wolf skin. Some legends claimed that wearing a belt or cloak made from wolf hide allowed the wearer to shift into a wolf. Ointments and potions. Many medieval texts describe herbal salves prepared by witches that could induce werewolf transformation when rubbed onto the skin. Enchanted rings. Some occult traditions mention rings inscribed with sigils that could grant shapeshifting powers. Incantations and rituals to become a werewolf. One of the most famous spells to invoke lycanthropy reportedly required the subject to stand at a crossroads under the full moon while reciting an ancient invocation. In some variations, a blood sacrifice or the drinking of wolf blood was necessary. One alleged medieval ritual states. 2. The ritual of Lycaon and the mother of werewolves. One of the most infamous origins of lycanthropy comes from the ancient Greek myth of King Lycaon, who was cursed by Zeus for his blasphemy and human sacrifice. Over time, occult traditions evolved this story into a powerful lycanthropic transformation ritual linked to the mother of werewolves, an ancient primal deity or spirit. The ritual of Lycaon. The ritual must be performed under the light of a blood moon in a secluded forest or mountain, away from human settlements. The initiate must sacrifice a black ram or consume raw flesh as an offering to the mother of werewolves, calling upon her for transformation. The ritual leader, often an elder werewolf or shaman, marks the initiate's body with symbols of the hunt and the wolf's spirit, drawn in a mixture of ash and animal blood. A sacred incantation invoking Lycaon's name is recited, calling upon his ancient curse to bestow the gift of shapeshifting. 5. The initiate then drinks a specially brewed infusion of herbs and wolf's blood, believed to alter the body and mind to accept the transformation. 6. The final stage requires the initiate to run through the wild, embracing their primal instincts. Some traditions claim that those who complete the ritual successfully wake up with heightened senses, animalistic reflexes, and an unbreakable bond to the wolves of the night. 3. The shamanic and spiritual werewolves of Asia. In Asian traditions, lycanthropy was often linked to shamanic practices, ancestral spirits, and divine intervention rather than demonic influence. Chinese and Mongolian shamanic traditions spirit wolves. Some shamans in Mongolia and northern China believed they could spiritually project into a wolf's body, using their heightened senses to navigate the world. Ritual wolf dances. Shamans would enter trance-like states, mimicking wolves to harness their power. Hereditary wolf spirits. Some Chinese clans believed their ancestors were part wolf and could manifest their traits in moments of crisis. Japanese werewolf rites and yokai influenced the Yamabushi monks, ascetics of the mountains, were rumored to summon wolf spirits to guard sacred temples. Some Shinto priests conducted blood rituals involving wolf relics to summon protection or transformation. Japanese folklore suggests that certain warriors could inherit the soul of a wolf through ancestral blessings, turning them into fierce fighters. 4. Native American and Mesoamerican transformational magic. Among Native American and Mesoamerican tribes, the transformation into wolves or wolf-like beings was a revered practice, linked to the spiritual world and warrior traditions. Skinwalkers and Shapechangers. 1. In Navajo legend, the Skinwalkers were powerful shamans who used dark magic to take on wolf or coyote forms. They would perform forbidden rituals, including cannibalism or corpse desecration, to acquire this ability. Aztec and Mayan lycanthropic rites. The Aztecs worshipped Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror, a god associated with shapeshifting warriors who could take on wolf-like forms. Some priests would wear wolf pelts in ceremonial rites to invoke the spirit of the beast in battle. 5. Protection against werewolves. Throughout history, many cultures have developed methods to defend against werewolves or break their curse, whether to ward them off, break their curse, or even kill them. Here are some of the most well-known methods. 1. Silver, the ultimate werewolf slayer. 1. Silver is the most famous anti-werewolf weapon, often depicted in legends and modern media. 2. A silver bullet, dagger, or sword is believed to burn a werewolf's flesh and permanently kill them. 3. This belief likely comes from medieval alchemical traditions, which saw silver as a pure, divine metal capable of repelling evil. 2. Wolfsbane, aconite, the cursed herb. 1. Wolfsbane is a toxic plant historically used as both a poison and a protective charm against werewolves. 2. Some legends claim wearing or burning wolfsbane keeps werewolves at bay. 3. In some traditions, drinking a wolfsbane potion could either prevent transformation or cure lycanthropy, though at great risk of death. 3. Religious symbols and holy objects. 1. Christianity and other faiths associate werewolves with dark forces, making holy water, crucifixes, and prayers effective defenses. 2. Some myths say that a priest's blessing can repel or even cure a werewolf. 3. In Eastern European folklore, a werewolf could be freed from its curse by confessing its sins or being exorcised. 4. Fire, the purifier. 1. Fire is seen as a divine force of purification, making it one of the most feared weapons against werewolves. 2. In some legends, a werewolf burned alive would have its soul cleansed, preventing further transformations. 3. Some medieval European traditions burned wolf pelts believed to have magical powers that triggered transformation. 5. Rowan and other protective plants. 1. The rowan tree, mountain ash, has long been used as a protective charm against werewolves. 2. Hanging rowan branches over doors or windows was believed to prevent werewolves from entering. 3. Other protective plants include garlic, juniper, and mistletoe, which were often woven into amulets or placed under pillows. 6. Binding the werewolf. 1. Some legends claim that tying up a werewolf with blessed chains during a full moon prevents transformation. In some cases, werewolves were buried alive or locked away to stop them from attacking people. 7. Killing the werewolf the right way. 1. Some folklore insists that a werewolf must be killed a specific way for the curse to be broken. 2. The most common methods include beheading the werewolf and burning its body, piercing its heart with silver, iron, or a wooden stake, shooting it with a silver bullet, preferably blessed by a priest. 8. Identifying a werewolf in human form. 1. Some legends claim werewolves can be identified in their human form by certain physical traits: eyebrows that meet in the middle, a unibrow, hair on their palms or under their tongue, a long ring finger or sharp, wolf-like nails. If identified, werewolves could be banished or purified through rituals before they transformed. Whether through silver, wolfsbane, holy objects, or fire, many methods exist to ward off or kill a werewolf. However, not all werewolves are monstrous. Some myths suggest they can live among humans peacefully, even protecting them. So before you reach for a silver bullet, are you sure the werewolf is your enemy? Breaking the stereotype, are werewolves misunderstood? Despite their portrayal as fearsome beasts, there are legends suggesting that not all werewolves are malevolent. The Lycaones, a secretive lineage of shapeshifters, claim to have lived in peace among humans for centuries. Unlike the cursed and uncontrollable creatures of horror stories, they are believed to shift at will, form families with humans, and integrate into society without revealing their true nature. Some of these werewolves supposedly exist as neighbors, friends, and even romantic partners, hiding their dual nature from the world. This idea challenges the traditional notion of lycanthropy as a curse and instead presents it as a hidden legacy, a gift passed down through bloodlines or acquired through ancient rites. Perhaps, instead of fearing the unknown, humanity should reconsider its view on werewolves, not as monstrous beings, but as guardians of nature, protectors of the wild, and fellow travelers in the great mystery of existence. From medieval Europe to shamanic Asia and modern occult circles, the idea of becoming or defending against a werewolf has persisted for centuries. Whether through magic, divine intervention, or psychological belief, the legend of lycanthropy continues to captivate the imagination of those who seek power beyond the human form, or protection from it. But perhaps, the true werewolf has never been a monster, just another misunderstood soul walking among us, waiting to be seen for what they truly are.